Oh, hey, welcome. We have a podcast. You should listen to it. Let us entertain you.
Yeah, we're gonna entertain you like this.
That's hey, that's a little too much energy.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we're not doing accordion. We're gonna be nice and calm. I'm really bad at this. But yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. Woo!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Frogs and Grog.
Welcome back.
Today we have a little bit of a rant episode. How about you introduce our topic?
Yeah, we're talking about just the differences in our opinions on indie video games versus indie board games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I want to start talking about indie board games because I feel like you'll have a lot more input on video games, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I don't know what all goes into making a video game. Not as well as you do. You've pretty much made several.
Mm.
But
I haven't released any. Or I've released
Right.
like one, but that's a secret and it's never gonna get out.
Okay.
Um,
Well, indie board games, or just a lot of board games in general, are either like just kind of crap, unless they're like the big name ones, or they're like it's really hard to find them. It's like a diamond in the rough. It's really hard to find really good indie board games.
yeah, and whenever
even
you
then-
do find them, they're all so expensive.
They're so expensive, dude. How am I supposed to pay $120 for a board game when the newest AAA video game is like 70 max? And then
Plus-
but that's without all the add-ons and stuff. If you want to buy add-ons for board games, oh my
Yeah, you're looking
gosh.
$60 sometimes. You're looking more sometimes. It's nuts.
No, let's take Catan for example. Oh my gosh.
I love Catan, first off.
Yeah.
But second off, holy cow, dude. That is
know.
an expensive game.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you've got Catan. Base game, $42. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Catan Seafarers, $60. Catan Traders and Barbarians, $50. Catan Game of Thrones, $60. And Catan Settlers of America, $67.
And I think
That
there's a
is a lot of
multiplayer
money.
expansion as well.
There's a
Or
5
more
and 6 player
players.
expansion for $32. Legend of the Conquerors for $36. New Energies for $67.
Yup.
There's a compact version for $45, which is more than the regular base board game.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Cities and Knights expansion. Oh, Cities and Knights scenario, Legend of the Conquerors is an expansion to an expansion which is Cities of Knights, $59. Explorers and Pirates, $37. Catan Starfarers Duel. There's so much. Rise of the Incas for $63. Yeah, there's just a lot. Okay. Now I can
Mhm.
think of some video games that have a lot of stuff like that. But like if you're
Yeah.
going to buy the newest AAA game and you want to buy the premium edition with everything, it's like maybe $100. That was
Yeah,
like $300, $400 worth of board game stuff I just named right there. You really got to be into Catan to play to have all of that. And like
Yeah.
Catan's not a crap game, all right? Catan's actually pretty good. But like what is the price? And I understand there's a lot more that goes into a board game than a video game, depending, because you have to produce physical materials, you have to ship it out, and all that stuff. And
Mhm.
but like I feel like a lot of board games, my family's super into board games, but a lot of board games where either choose one and it instantly becomes a classic in our family, or we choose one, try it once, never play it again.
Yeah, no, that's exactly
And
how
it-
it goes in my family as well, dude.
And sometimes that happens with video games too, but at the end of the day, are you spending that much money on a video game compared to a board game? It's crazy.
And I
And
mean,
this is-
you can you can play base board games. Like, you can play
Right.
base Catan, but
yeah.
you know you're getting, like, a shittier experience. Or an experience that, like, you don't necessarily want to have. So, like, if you wanted to do the Starship one of Catan, like, you really like Star Wars, you want to play that. you're spending like what? That's 40 plus 60? That's
Something like that.
$100 just to
Yeah.
get the one experience you want. And if you want 5 to 6 players, if those even go together, I don't even know.
hmm
But that's already 130
Yeah.
for
It's
base like
crazy.
experience.
Yeah. No. Oh my gosh. And that's a good board game.
Yeah, that's a
If we go
good
to
one.
bad board games, oh my gosh. Or even not just bad board games, but like mediocre. You
Yeah,
know?
like I'm just looking on some Google like images and
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm on Amazon right now, and there's some like I don't know. There's just some boring looking ones too.
Yeah, I'm seeing games like Cats and Pickles or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are little kid games.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah, yeah.
asking for like $20
I
for these
know.
games.
I know. And like, what's a okay? Okay. You told me about Dorf Romantic, right?
Yep.
And that's a video game.
So I'm not sure which came for first, but there is a video
Let's
game
see.
version and there is the board game version.
Let's see what this says.
Let me pull up the Steam page real quick. You audience won't see it, but um
Okay, no. So the Steam game came in 2021, and this was made after it. This is
okay.
made based on the game. How much is that game?
That game is $14. And you can
The
buy it
board game?
you can or no, sorry. The video game is $14. And then you
Dude,
can buy it on Steam sale for sometimes like 70% off,
yeah,
depending on
no,
what sale you're buying.
that's crazy because the board game on an 11% sale right now, $40.
Oh my god.
And what about this game makes you want to play the board game over the video game? Now, don't get me
Now,
wrong, the video game's a little niche, right? Isn't it?
yeah, and it's single player, which is the only
Yeah,
thing that I'm like, I don't know how they made it multiplayer.
right. Like, I don't
So,
even. How many people can play this game? It doesn't even. Let me see. I think it's supposed to be 5 players,
okay.
which is crazy. But, like, it's already such a niche game. How did they turn that into a board game, you know? And even then, yeah, how good is this board game? It's a $40 game. Oh, okay, there's a dual version that's about the same price as well,
Oh, jeez.
which is crazy. So I don't know. I just don't understand. Okay, and then yeah, well, this kind of brings me into my next point on this. Video game board games are the most either they're done fairly decent or they're straight crap, but they're
Mm-hmm.
so expensive and not very creative because you're literally taking an idea that's already been done and then just turning it into a board game.
Yeah.
Like
Another
what?
downside to board games, I will say, is the high player requirements.
Yeah,
Because with a video game, you're just playing it. You could play by yourself. You could play with like a small squad of like 4 to 8 players or whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like with board games, you have to get all those people in the same room, which we're both big TTRPG players
right.
and tabletop game players. But like it's hard to get friends, family, all different people like in a room together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and anyone who plays like D&D and stuff understands how hard it is to get everyone together for D&D.
Yeah, it can be really rough.
Okay, here's another one to compare here. Skyrim. Classic video game, been around since like 2012, I believe, right? And
Something
it's
like that.
still so popular. They've released it several times. Like it costs a decent amount. I think it's like 40
I think it's only
$50.
$30.
It might be cheaper than I'm thinking it is, but and you can have like an infinite amount of playtime on that. All
Plus, you
right.
can buy
The
it on
only
heavy sale because of how old it is.
They even have VR versions of it. Like the only downside is that it's a single player game, and even then, there are mods to make it multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you want to play the Skyrim board game, which gives you 60 to 120 minutes of playtime. So 1 to 2 hours of playtime compared to I already have over 100 hours of Skyrim. I know people who have hundreds,
Mm-hmm.
For 1 to 4 players for $140.
Oh my god.
You could buy a copy of the game for 4 people and then still have $20 left over for the same price.
That's actually
insane.
crazy.
That's absolutely insane. Let me watch this. Okay. I'm gonna watch this quick video on it, see how interesting this actually looks.
Gotcha. So,
okay.
Another problem that I'm thinking up is like half the board games that you buy and play aren't even worth like the material cost. Because like you'll buy a game and it'll have like maybe 5 shittily made cards and then like all the different stuff, like the board maybe, which is just like cardboard. So like you're barely paying for the actual materials. You're more paying for the experience. But the experience for some of these games that you're paying like $50 on is shit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just not worth it that much.
Right. Now, we've ranted about the bad parts of board games. The good parts, if you have a board game that is fairly cheap, or even just well priced, and has really it's very well put together, has some fun parts to it, and like the stuff isn't made of like crap, you get a really good board game and it sticks around forever. Like, I don't know if this will get us flagged, so I'll kind of censor it, but whatever. Like Secret, German Leader, that one. That one is a phenomenal game.
Or Werewolf.
Or Werewolf.
Those types of games.
Yeah, those types of games. I mean, and obviously everyone puts their own spin on it, but this one specifically has, like, my family plays it all the time. We play it all the time. $40 game. All right. But you can have like 12 players, which is insane. All of the pieces and stuff are very well made with good material and stuff. It's got an interesting. It's interesting to play. It's different from a lot of other games. It's just, oh man, it's so good. It's so entertaining, and it's really good at bringing out the detective in people. Very good game. Another good game that's really good. I don't know if you played this one, but Forbidden Island.
I have not played that one.
W game. Highly recommend it. It's different every time. But this one's like a team-based strategy game. Love those. It's 2 to 4 players. And I think there's expansions for this too. Let me see. So we have this one too. Oh yeah. There's 2 other expansions you can add. So the base game's $20, which isn't bad at all. And then you can get expansions, which I think this is an expansion. Oh, never mind. These are different. These are completely different games. Oh, okay. But they're all kind of the same idea, just with different mechanics and stuff. But anyways, phenomenal game. I love it a lot. Pandemic's another really good one that I really like. Has some unique gameplay. And it's really similar to what's the one like infection game?
Oh, Plague Inc?
Inc. Yeah, it's very similar to Plague Inc, except you aren't the plague, you're the people trying to cure the plague.
Oh, so like cure mode on Plague Inc.
It's what?
Plague or cure mode on Plague Inc.
Yeah, pretty much. And so it's really cool. Oh man, phenomenal game. You have to like research a cure. Oh yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
Like, there's really good board games, and when they're really good, they stick around forever. They stick out.
And physically, they do stick around for generations if they're well made as well. So, like, my family's Monopoly set, I think it's, like, fairly old. It's probably over 20 years old.
Oh, jeez. We've gone through way too many.
It's, like, pretty crazy.
But, like, yeah, at the end of the day, there's really good board games. There's really bad ones. And the difference, I feel like, between board games and video games, and we'll talk more about video games in a second, but like board games take a lot more effort to make a board game and like produce a board game. Oh, depending, really depends. But production for sure is very hard because you have to get physical materials and all this stuff. And like, so I don't know why people don't try harder to make a better board game. You know?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
if they're gonna
But, like,
ship out all of the boxes with all the stuff in it and the rules and all
right.
that, why can't they make their game a little bit
Like,
more interesting?
right. So it's like, and like, yeah, at the end of the day, if you buy a bad video game, you can either return it or just kind of like delete it and it's in your Steam library or whatever. It's not taking up any actual space. Whereas if you buy a board game and it's kind of crap, like you just throw it in your closet for 5 years.
Yeah, or you
You know?
send it to like the Goodwill shop or whatever.
Right, or you get re-gift it. You know, you have to get rid of it. But anyways,
Mhm.
like board games can be really good, but if they're not done well, they are really bad. There's no like in between games. They're either really good or really stupid.
Yeah,
And
there's the mid ones are like mid.
right, and they're
Low
also
mid.
like, ugh, yeah, they're bad. They're just not great. And like, I'm not crapping on board game people. I mean, I am a little bit, but like at the same time, oh, you would think like if I was making a board game, I would put a lot more effort into making something that's actually decent than just kind of like
Mhm.
not
Thrown
really
together
trying,
one.
throwing something together or copying something or whatever. And like, don't get me wrong, there are some video games that are that way too, but I feel like, or not feel like, that's not statistics. That's not like actual
Empirical evidence.
right. That's not evidence. Um, but I know from looking at Steam and looking at the Xbox store, the PlayStation store, there are a lot more video games than board games. And there are a lot of really good video games. The mid video games are still decent, and the bad video games are either really just crap and you can't play them, or they're funny so you still play them. You
Yup.
know?
Um,
I'm gonna have you take over here on the video game side of things.
yeah, so with some of the video game stuff, like I've been working on making my own video games and stuff. I'm still not great at it, but like you can tell whenever somebody's actually like trying to put in effort to a game and it's not just a
Mm-hmm.
shitpost game. With
Mm-hmm.
board games, I feel like it's so hard to tell the difference between shitpost games and ones that people were actually trying on.
Yep.
Because they're just all kind of like confusing whenever they're a
Mm-hmm.
bad game.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever it's a bad game that like people tried on, I think you can
Yeah.
like, I don't know. There's a different feeling if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Right. No, that makes 100% sense.
Um,
Ugh.
let's see. I'm looking through some of my games.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
let's see. We've got.
So,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. No, you go. I've talked a lot.
I was gonna say games like Who's Your Daddy. You can tell
Yeah.
that that's kind of like a shittily made game, but they came up with a concept and like they put it on a store for really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It's multiplayer, but I think you can choose to play like 2 players maybe. So
Mhm.
it's not like impossible to play in small groups. You can play across long distances. You don't have to be in the same room.
Mhm.
And it's fun. But it's
Oh, yeah.
sure it's shittily made and it's
Oh yeah.
cheap, but like it's fun.
Mhm.
Games like Goat Simulator.
Oh yeah.
I think it's made to be more like
It's made specifically.
it's made
like
specifically for
Okay.
shitpost, but like
that. Mm-hmm.
it's still a good game.
One that's grown on me a little bit is Garfield Kart.
Yeah.
Horribly made game. You've heard
Yeah.
us rage about it. But like honestly, I think I've played more rounds of Garfield Kart than Mario Kart. And that doesn't have anything to do with Mario Kart. I've just never played it. But like it's not that bad. It's horrible, but like we still
it's
play it.
horrible, but it's fun because it's horrible. Whenever you're playing a board game that's horrible, you're like, where does this piece go? What does this even do?
Yeah, no, because the thing with a board game is like, oh, actually, never mind. That's a redundant point. I don't need to make that point. But I will say, comparatively, board games are a lot better at bringing like being family events.
Yeah,
because like
agreed.
we could play video games as a family kind of, but like I know like my mom isn't super into it, and like my younger sister's she's kind of into it, but like all of us boys will play video games together and we have fun. But like when we pull out a board game, everybody plays.
Yes, that is a great point.
However, yeah, there's not a lot of single player board games, so
that would kind of suck. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's like playing solitaire like 30 times. And you're just like, meh. But anyways, continue.
That was pretty much most of what I had to say. Like, I just really think that, I don't know, it's hard looking at indie games and being like, oh, this one's crappy, because somebody put a piece of themselves into it, but like at the same time, it's like I don't want to pay so much for it. So that's why I think like Steam and the shitty like games that are made on there, or itch.io, all those different places, I think there's just a lot more value in those currently, because you're spending like less than $5 for an experience you could play for like an hour or like half an hour. But with these ones, you're spending like $20 to $100 for something you're gonna play in for like the same amount of time.
Right.
And I guess it just depends on like how you want to spend that time. But overall, I think Steam is looking a lot better than board games right now.
Right. No, I agree with that 100%. Board games, like, they have their place, but overall, like, when you look at the difference between a indie board game or just a lot of big board games in general, compared to any indie video game, it's just like you can tell there's a quality difference and there's an effort difference. Because I mean, like, yeah, board games
really surprises me though, because as we were talking about, like, it's so much harder to produce a board game.
Yeah, it's so much harder. Again, so it's like, why make it crap? It's just wild.
I'm looking at some of these, and I'm seeing, like, a tic-tac-toe game. It's just, like, basically tic-tac-toe 2. It's like, I'm not going to spend $30 on tic-tac-toe. You can get a piece of paper.
Yeah. And, like, don't get me wrong. A big part of it is the fact that the internet's taken over, and so board games have kind of fallen off. But back when board games were big, like, yeah, they were big, they were important, they were cool, they were fun. But, like, we're in a new age, and so if you don't make a board game, like, interesting and really just...
really knock it out of the park.
Right, knock it out of the park, really hook you in, it's not gonna stick. Someone's just gonna go play a video game instead, dude. It's just... Yeah.
Unfortunate, anyways, but that's the way it is.
That's just kind of how it is. But at the end of the day, they're still good board games. They're still great. But
if you guys have board games that you want us to test out and play and give our ratings on, let us know, and we'll try it out. Question of the day.
Ooh.
What's your favorite board game? And what's your, like, shittiest board game that you own currently?
There we go.
So
let us know what you think about our opinion, if we're
if we're
being too crazy, which I think we're correct, because we made this podcast episode. But let us know your counter argument if you have one, or if you agree with us.
So, what's your shittiest board game that you own?
Ooh, what is the crappiest board game we own? There's this... Okay. because that's really hard because we own a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to think. I think for me, I was given a tic-tac-toe board game, like I was saying, and just seeing this one online reminded me that I actually still have that. And I was like, why would you even go to the hassle of making this? You can just use a paper and pens.
Right. No, that's stupid. Okay, I have one that's kind of dumb. So Scrabble, this game.
Oh.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of Scrabble. I'd much rather play like Bananagrams. Okay. But I have the Scrabble like travel edition, so it's like even more crappily made, super plastic, and just not good. Like I'll play. I think they have Scrabble. It's like don't they have like wood boards and stuff?
Yeah, sort of thing? Scrabble's wood boards and then the wood little tiles.
Yeah, no, this is all plastic and it like no, it's just crappily made. The case is like it's hard to put back together and put everything together into like a little suitcase thing. And oh man, I will say I hate travel versions of games way more than their original versions. Like
especially like Uno, dude, it's microscopic.
Dude, yeah, it's microscopic, and then just Uno in general. I feel like this might just be my family problem, but our Uno sets always get destroyed.
Oh yeah, no, that's
also what the crap is Dose, 100%. Bro? Have you played Dose?
No.
Don't play it. Okay. That's another crappy game we have.
Understood.
It's just like it's supposed to be another branch off of Uno with new rules, and it's just not worth it. So
interesting. That sounds like my phone going off. Ignore that. I need to turn off my ringer. Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, for best board game, it's got to be Dungeons and Dragons. Technically not a board game, I mean, but
it's a TTRPG. It's a tabletop game. It's a role-playing game, so it's kind of a different category, but at the same time, you play it on the table. You can do. There's dice. There's miniatures. Duh. Yeah. I mean, I already mentioned Secret German Leader. That was a good one.
That one obviously, is a good one.
I hope you understand what I'm saying there. But what's another really good one?
We could just call it Secret Elon.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Honestly, another really classic one that's really fun. Sorry.
I haven't actually really played that one.
No way, bro. No way, bro.
You gotta bring it next time we do games.
Real. I'll bring it. Sorry is a classic one. And it's super simple, but it's so fun. Anyways, I also really enjoy Dominion.
Yes,
we played that one a couple times. That one was fun. We don't remember the name of the game, but anyways, there was another really good one. See, like, really good ones will stick out in your brain, you know. But yeah, and all the other ones will just fade off into the distance. And all the bad video games I've played, I can remember them. I can still remember them. Oh, like we used to. Okay, actually, never mind. I'm not gonna get into that because I will never stop talking.
Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to our little rant here. Again, let us know in the comments. Leave a like on the podcast episode or video if you're watching on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, check out our Friday game day channel.
Yes.
Same channel as linked in the description, but we do games there.
We've been doing really fun games. We've been doing lots of Elden Ring. It's been really fun.
Yes.
I don't remember, where are we at there? Did we just beat Godric?
Yes, I believe so.
Sweet.
Yeah, go check it out. It's fun. Yep. See you guys in the next one. Stay groggy.
See you in the next one. Stay groggy. Leaving so soon. Hope we see you next time.